I'm immensely proud of my students. We lack facilities that many schools take for granted. So as a teacher, I just want to have a positive impact, not only in my country, even the whole of Africa. Teaching is in my blood. My father was a teacher. My uncles and cousins were also teachers. I admired the kind of work they are doing in the society. I thought I'll be able to make a real difference. I am a maths and physics teacher at Keriko Mixed Secondary School. The school is in a very remote area. The students, most of them, they come from very poor families. I joined the Religious Life because I wanted to be able to dedicate myself wholeheartedly to helping others. Caring for people is in my heart. Before I joined this school, I was teaching in a private school which was well equipped, had all the facilities. Most of the students there were that top grade. And then later on, I felt that the surrounding communities, they also needed my help. I said, let me stretch and extend the same love to the surrounding community. And that's what made me come to this school. We are going to start with Mass. Okay, someone to remind us what we talked about Mass. Students in this school face so many challenges. They come from very poor families. Even affording breakfast is hard. When they are in school, they are not able to concentrate mainly because they are not able to get enough meals at home. Lare area experiences famine every 3 to 4 years. Food insecurity is a major problem, and teaching the members within this community on new ways of farming is a matter of life and death.
Kwa sababu unaweza kupanda mimea hapa. We are now heading into the dry season. He trained us the alternative ways of growing vegetables. That garden will take very little water and it uses a very small portion of land.
Through Peace Club, the students are united, they conduct debates, they carry out tree planting, and all of that brings them together. We need peace in our communities, we need peace in our world.
Here in our school, we have already planted our trees. That is one way of promoting peace.
By encouraging my students to participate in science club and the talent nurturing club, they become very innovative.
Our project is about generating electric current from plant extracts and sewage waste.
We went to the Science Week and we were called to present there. We became the winners.
I've been featured in the local newspaper. I feel recognized.
To be a great teacher, you have to be creative, embrace technology. You really have to promote those modern ways of teaching. You have to do more and talk less.
Hello, good morning, and a very warm welcome to you from London. We're delighted that you've joined us, and wherever you are in the world today, you're very, very welcome. So this is the latest in a series of webinars by Learning Possibilities. We are a global edtech business working with schools and governments around the world, and you'll see our website throughout the event, our website address. Please feel free to go and have a look. So we've been doing webinars since late last year, looking at the changes and challenges education systems around the world are facing with the pandemic, how they need to prepare for the new normal, how they cope with lockdown, and also how they are preparing for Education 4.0 and the need for delivering the kind of skills that we know that industry wants. All of this at a time when teachers are being asked to put some kind of blended learning together, at a time when we know that school lockdowns have become frequent and fairly sustained, leading to loss of learning, and at a time when we see the challenges of the pandemic all around us and wave after wave of coronavirus. So today, I am delighted that we are joined by the world's best teacher, somebody who has been recognized as foremost amongst his profession, to get his views of how he has coped, how he has managed, and what his hopes and dreams are. And that is none other than Brother Peter Tobici. And I'm delighted to welcome Peter to our webinar this morning. Peter, welcome. We're excited, delighted, and thrilled that you've found some time and some connectivity to be with us from rural Kenya. And we really look forward to this discussion, as I'm sure all the people on this webinar do. We're delighted that you are going to share your story and also to learn a bit about what you're doing, how you won the prize, and also what your thoughts and dreams are for the future. So welcome. I wanted to start by asking you where you grew up. What what were your influences and what were your hopes and dreams growing up as a child?
Yeah, thank you. It is my pleasure joining you in this webinar. So, as you have been told, my name is Brother Peter Tobici. I'm a teacher at Kericho Secondary School. This is a school in a rural part of Kenya, and we have students who come from very humble backgrounds. So, growing up, I went through a number of challenges, and I can say that I was also brought up, from a humble background, and my father was a teacher, and most of my family members were also teachers. So it was great honor working with them, observing what the kind of work they are doing and how they are serving the community. So in a way, they inspired me, and I hope that one day I also make a difference in the community, not just in my village where I was born, but also even beyond. I didn't know exactly how I was make that difference, but I was determined. I knew that I had dreams that one day something is going to happen. I didn't know exactly, so and I really was very, very close to my father, who was giving me a lot of guidance and support. And I also wished that one day I'll also become a Franciscan brother, and it happened. So I'm so happy that right now so much has happened, even beyond my expectations, beyond my dreams. I really want to thank God, and I'm really happy, not just for myself, but even for the community where I'm working, for my students who come from very poor backgrounds, who are going through very difficult, challenges, even harder than those ones which I grew up with. Yeah, thank you.
So Peter, two things there that I just want to ask. So you became a Franciscan brother. What age did you realize this is what you wanted to do, and have a role in the church? I understand what you're saying about being a teacher and having the influences of your fathers and uncles, and that's great that you're following in their footsteps and serving the community. But when did you decide to become a Franciscan brother?
When I was young, right from the time when I was young, and just near my community, we have people who have also dedicated their lives to similar kind of work. So I used to attend their sessions, and they also inspired me in a way. And at the same time, I used to read magazines that my father was buying, and like one of them called the ZD magazine, and I used to read very inspiring stories, and that at the end of it inspired me right from the when I was like grade 3, when I was very young. Yeah.
And I saw that recently, before the pandemic, you met His Holiness the Pope. That must have been a fantastic moment for somebody who is within the church.
Yeah, it was a great moment. At home we have a photo of Pope Francis, and that has been there since I was young. So I didn't know that one time I will meet him. So when it happened that I met him, it was really a great honor for me, and I really want to thank God because of that.
So you said you're now a teacher at Carrico School. We saw the video at the start of this event, and it's clear that what you're doing is tremendous, given that you're in a rural part of Kenya, that you're in a school where I understand 95% of the kids come from poor families. In all of these challenges, how do you have the motivation, and how do you drive the impact, within a school like that?
It's more of working with respecting people that we work with. My teachers were very cooperative, so we work together as a team. And all the time I have to, in the case of anything, I have to consult them, and we work together. And at the same time, I have to also, I have to really read a lot and go, not just rely on the kind of training I received when I was in from the college. So I have to do a lot. So at the end of it, that's what inspires me. So it's like I try to look for that inspiration from elsewhere, and also inspire myself at the same time. There are so many people who have inspired me, and I really want to thank them. Yeah.
So I understand that for a very long time, Peter, you've been not just with the school, but the community around the school. You've been donating 80% of your salary for their upkeep and well-being. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, so I belong to a religious group, and our way of life is to give. So we do more of serving the community, and that's where my passion is. So when I say that the children in the poor people, and they are getting all the the needs, that gives me the happiness, and that's our way, and I'm so happy because of that.
And you've also been helping the community in terms of their agriculture, and finding crops that are drought free, and things of this sort as well, to bring them all together.
Oh yes, that's part of what we do, and I don't do it alone. There are a number of people who are working around that. So, so I'm so much inspired. I try as much as possible to really do beyond not just going to the classroom. It's not just about teaching. It's not about lecturing. You have to do more than that.
So, are you okay? You need to reset your camera.
Oh yes, good. I'm just trying some kind of challenge, but I'm just trying to work on it.
So improvisation, we like that. So
yeah,
one of the things I wanted to ask you is, when you have so many students from poor families, the video talked a little bit about serving food to help them concentrate. What sort of teaching techniques have you employed to make these children learn and get them excited about the idea of learning and education?
Yeah. So, as I say that it's not just about going to class and just lecturing and teaching, and you have to do more in terms of addressing their needs. You have to be aware that they also have personal challenges, different backgrounds. We have also students, with low self-esteem, and then we have, can I say, the low achievers and high achievers. So it's a kind of, we have different categories of students. So I try as much as possible to make learning interesting. And one of the things I do is to try to integrate technology, so to make it interesting. And then the other thing I do is engage them in project work, a lot of project work. And I found that when they are doing project work, it's like they see it's learning is practical. They see a lot of they are learning a lot. They see a lot of sense in when you are engaging them in practical activities, and that's why even at times I engage them in. We have the biz club in the school, and they are very happy. And at the end of it, if you request them to write a report or do some kind of research around that, they'll do so well, and they are able to use the existing, the theory, what they learn in class. So you'll be able to see that they are really trying to put that into practice. So that's what I try to tap, from students. Even if, yeah.
And so you bring the practical aspects of learning into it and ask them to implement what they've learned in projects, practical projects. Yeah. Is that right?
Yes. So it was, at the beginning, they didn't know that they can also compete with students from, well-performing schools, or like we have the national schools or international schools. They thought that the school is just down there, those low categories. We have the sub-county schools, so they didn't know that much cannot come from them. But now, when I discovered that when you inspire them, when you give them confidence, they are able to do so much. So it was more of using that trick that you give them confidence, let them realize that they have gifts, they have talent, because every child has a gift, every child has great potential. And they cannot believe, they cannot know that they have that unless you give them the confidence. And that's what I did, and it was working so well. It was doing wonders, and we have actually some of the students who did so well and went even competing with students at the international level, even winning, not just participating, but even winning. And I'm so happy, I'm pleased to say that majority of them are girls, because it was a great way of learning. And that has, as a fact, also inspired other students, not just the students who are participating, even the others have also discovered that even us, we have something, despite the fact that we are going through a number of challenges, despite the fact that we don't have enough resources. So that has given them, confidence, and it is, it's making them feel proud, to be associated with the school, with the teachers, and they're so happy. And I'm so happy when I see that happening. Yeah.
Fantastic, and that is really inspirational. So before I talk a little bit about you being voted the world's best teacher, I want to play a short video on you receiving that award from the royal family in Dubai. Let's play the video and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
All right. Okay, guys, here it is. Your Highness, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. The winner of the Global Teacher Prize for 2019 is Peter Tobici. Congratulations, Peter. I would like to invite His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum and Mr. Sunny Vaki to the stage to present the trophy to the winner.
So Peter, I mean, my first thought when I saw you win was that for a Franciscan brother from a small town in rural Kenya, this was a fantastic, amazing feat. How did you feel when your name was called out?
To me, it was like a dream. Even going to, traveling all the way to Dubai was an exciting moment. It was my first time to board a plane, and I used to sit at home, when I was young, seeing them, passing. I didn't know. I was asking myself, who are those people? Who are those kinds of people? Using those means. I didn't know that one time I'll use those means. So it was an exciting moment, even by traveling. And then when I won, it was an exciting. I feel honored and privileged, and I feel like it is something that is really going to inspire not just me, but even my students, the people, and that has happened. I'm so happy that it has happened. I've come across many people who have told me that they were inspired, and I'm so happy when I hear that.
And
So it was I can also add to that it was a life-changing moment, especially for my community, my students, and teachers and many people.
so, Peter, there are very many teachers on this webinar. Many of them are in a similar position where they're teaching students from a poor background, where they probably sit there and think, "This is not for me." I'm not in a big school, in a big country, in a big town. What is your message to them? Because I understand that the Vaki Foundation, which gives the $1 Million Global Teacher Prize, has extended the deadline for submission to the 16th of May, and you can see the address at the bottom of the screen where they you can apply. So, what is your message to these teachers that are in a similar situation? Should they put their names forward?
Oh yeah, so the first thing I can say is that they should take the opportunity now that the deadline has been extended to make an application, because even myself, I didn't know. I was reading a story of some those who are shortlisted, the top 50, top 10, and the winners. I feel like it's something that cannot happen. So one time I say, I just saw, it's a friend who shared the link with me. I didn't know about it. So I also said, let me participate. This is something I also have a story. I didn't know that my story is also, worthy, that people can read. So I said, let me also just say exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to say exactly what I'm doing on the ground, even if I'm not from a very urban area. Or myself, I grew up in a in a rural village. I said, this is the story I'm going to use, and that's what I did. And I am very sure if the teachers are going to do the same, there are many teachers out there doing great work. Let them share their story, their great work, with with other people, with the people in the world, for them to learn, to inspire the young generation. Teachers are doing a lot. They are, without teachers, we cannot have educated society, we cannot even have the future. So I'm very sure let even all teachers, not just some few teachers, let even all teachers make this. We want to get their stories and hear what the great work which they are doing. Let them also put down the story, and that's why I was like, it was a great excitement when I was announced as the winner. And then the other message I can give to the teachers when they are in school, let them also go above and beyond the classwork, not just lecturing and just teaching. Let them just do some sacrifice and just go above and beyond, even do community work and engage the students in practical activities like say what I'm doing, project work, environmental conservation, because right now it's a big crisis. We are undergoing the world is going through the global warming. So that's what we can do as teachers, because we are problem solvers. We solve problems which the society is facing, and therefore I'm very sure that the teachers can also can transform the society and make it a better world for everyone.
And Peter, the other thing that really inspired me was then seeing, I understand everything you say about, even if you become a top 50 finalist, your story is then told to the world, your voice is heard, and you become part of the global teacher movement to change this world, which is amazing.
Sure.
But I also was really inspired to see,
yeah, sure.
As somebody who was born in Kenya, I was inspired to see you meeting the president, you being in the White House, so many news stories, printed in African and other newspapers about you. What difference has it made to your life? How has that changed now?
I can say that a lot has happened. It's no longer the same. I can say that I was not known. Not many people didn't know what I was doing. Even many people didn't know me. But right now, I can say that it's the opposite. Even if I go anywhere I go, I say my name, or just when people see me, they are able to identify me. And it's at times you feel like even your freedom is curtailed, but that's the best. It gives it gives you a sense of belonging, that you have people who are telling you that you have inspired them, and it's great to learn that. And then the other thing that has happened is there's so much change in my local community, in my school. We used to have, it was like the local community with there were poor roads. Students have to walk for long distances to school. But right now, I can say that the roads are okay, and because when there was homecoming, we had the local leaders, the government leaders who came, and they had a promise that they will work on the roads. And I'm so happy that the roads are now okay, and great is happening, and we have good leaders who are doing great work. I'm so happy about what the great work which they are doing. So it's more of really working with other people. Everyone has a contribution to give, and I'm so happy that I'm also doing my part, giving a contribution, even if it's a small contribution, and that's a great way of transforming the society. And so it gives me that, it's a great honor and privilege to see that there's so much is happening, and I hope that a lot is also still going to happen, not just for me, but even for the people, my students, and the people around me.
And Peter, it's so it's so inspiring to see that you not only carry on being an inspiration for teachers everywhere, but also that you've used this prize so positively to make a big impact on your community, your school, your education, for your learners, and that I think is tremendous, that you're using it to drive positive change and show what can be done with something like this. So we're extremely inspired by that. You touched a little bit about the current environmental situation, and we can't have a webinar without talking about the pandemic, which we'd all hope would have lasted 3-4 months. We're a year into this, and we still see more time that it'll take before it disappears. What has that meant really for you in terms of how it's affected your school, and how you've managed in that time? Because I know that the school that you were at didn't have a huge amount of technology in it, and so on. So how have you managed and during this time?
Yeah, it has been a difficult moment. It's something that we have never seen since we were born.
Yeah.
You know, it's a traumatizing, not even for us as teachers, but even for our the students. It's hard time. Even I was really so much worried. With the children. If this is what I'm going through, what about now the children? It was hard time, and even no learning was taking place. Students are normally used to staying at home for like 2 months or just a month, not even 2 months, less than a month, and then they go back to begin a new term or a new semester. But here comes they were staying at home for more than 3 months, for more than 5 months, and even almost a year. So it was a really hard time. No learning taking place. They're just at home, and at times they had to just be at home, not even walking because of the lockdown, to just minimize to avoid the spread of the virus. So it was a difficult moment. We had students being traumatized, practically, literally, and even myself, where I stay, I experience this where people have the virus, not just hearing, just experiencing. So it's hard, and we had so much fears. Even right now, we don't know what's going to happen. But I'm so happy now that we have vaccine and the people are getting vaccinated. So there's some light at the end of the tunnel. And what I did in my case, I just got some low cost smartphones, and I gave out to a few students, not only just my students, but even students from other schools. So I picked like 5 schools, and I was giving them 5 students each. I was giving them smartphones, low cost, and then giving them internet bundles, and then we had a session, and learning was taking place. So the students were able to interact with the main people, with teachers from. So it was a very interactive moment. But now here it was just a situation where we have with just a few students, and I sympathize with the rest of the students. We have so many, like right now we have more than in my school, and they were at home. And we had cases where we had some who engaged themselves in drug abuse, and we had also early marriage. Some did not report back to school, and there was teenage pregnancy. It was a big issue, so a big issue, and so there were quite a number of challenges. So to us teachers, it was traumatizing. Even right now, as I share with the teachers, it was a hard moment, and now it is even worse for students, and that's why even at times we have to spend so much time trying to give them some guidance and counseling so that they can get some kind of some kind of emotional support. Yeah.
I mean, it's tremendous to see that you've financed smartphones and data bundles to give these students an opportunity to do some learning, whilst things are in lockdown. But how much do you think they've lost in terms of their learning because of this? Do you think that they've lost the whole year, or do you think that there is some learning that has taken place? And also, as you mentioned, I mean, this must have some longer term consequences around maybe their emotional health. You talked about, early marriage. I suspect that there might be challenges for, more challenges for girls than boys in this environment, in having to, help out in family homes and farms and so on. Do you see all of these things, and how have you thought about them?
Yeah, this has happened. It's real. Um, I can also say that there's some inequalities. In many cases, you find that girls are, because of what they are going through. At times, you find that they are also going through a number of challenges because we had a we have had many cases of like teenage pregnancies. So there's some kind of imbalance. It did not okay. Boys were affected, girls, but there are those who are affected more. But to me, I can say that there were those challenges which were really directly affecting the girls, and of course there were those which were directly affecting the girls. But many girls, I can say many girls were affected, and that's why we had so many cases of like teenage pregnancy, and even some students not being able to report back to school because of early marriage. And this is going to cause. I can talk of long term. It's going to have. It was very traumatic. In that it will take time to, for children to heal. Even recently, we had students going back to school, and we observed cases of these different cases, and they were not the same students. We had to understand them and go and help, try as much as possible to give them support that they need. And I can say that it will take time, but we are very optimistic that finally they will be able to, the healing will take place and things will be, but it will take time. Yeah.
I saw in the I was saying I saw in the first video a scene of you in a church with the community and doing some of your pastoral duties. I mean, has that helped, the fact that you are a Franciscan brother and able to go out in the community and work with the communities around helping them through this situation?
Yes, I'm also privileged to be the patron of YCS. So once in a week or twice in a week, we meet and try to give them some we have guidance, spiritual direction, some guidance, some praying together, and that it's a process. It makes them feel better. When they are together with the others, they are seeing the others. It makes them feel better. And I've seen so many joining who wants to join, who wants to, who wants, or that kind of program because they see it's giving them a lot of, it's helping them, and I'm very optimistic that these are the kind of strategies that we need to use that give them more of the support, emotional support, the guidance and counseling, spiritual direction, and bring them together and trying as much as possible to give them for them to overcome the trauma which they have undergone and which they're still undergoing. Now that recently, just yesterday on the news, I heard that we have variants of the virus. So it's that scary that we have now variants of the virus. So it's so much scaring. So it's like it's a trauma on top of another trauma. So it's difficult, really difficult moments.
You're absolutely
And
right.
we also don't have men who have received the vaccine. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right, and I think as time progresses, we'll start to see the the impact of this. I think whilst we're still in the pandemic, perhaps we're not seeing it clearly, but I think as things go back to normal. So the thing that I want to talk about, Peter, a little bit is looking forward. You've decided to set up the Peter Tobici Foundation. What is the purpose behind that, and what do you see the future for what you are doing and how you want to continue to inspire others and serve your community?
Okay. Oh, thank you. I'm doing this because I believe that you have to work with other people, and you have to what you're doing, you have to do it properly, not just doing things without plan. So I feel like it's a great way of ensuring that I'm doing things in a very organized way, and I'm so happy that I've received so much support from many people even from the team. I'm very sure the organizers of this team and people from my here in the village and the local leaders, they have given me a lot of support to for that one to be achieved. And this is a way of making the the dreams, the what I hold dear to to happen, for it to be realized. And so that's why I feel like it's a great moment. It's something that's really going to help me in terms of delivering, making possible the things have been I can talk of have been my dreams. And especially the fact that I'm also working with the other people. In this case, I'm not working alone. So I have to work with people. In this case, I have to get some people will be helping, and it's great. It's quite great, and I've learned so much because you have to think about things like I have to get things like strategic plan. You have to give priorities. It's not everything that you have to do. So you have to identify things that you need to give priorities. You have to so it has through this I've learned so much, and I'm trying to I try as much as possible to each day is a day of learning. I try as much as possible to learn new things, and I really want to thank God that it has given me an opportunity to learn, to work with others, and even to be more creative. And I think it's great work that even a teacher, just a classroom teacher, can also change, do bring change in the in the community. And it's great honor to say working with the local readers and who are very, very, very supportive, and even not only the local readers, even people, beyond even my country, who wants to support, who want to support this work. And it's a dream that, we all have something to leave, a contribution to make, to a contribution to make, in changing, transforming the society. Yeah.
You talk about learning new things, and I was really impressed to see that you learned how to build websites and built your own petertobici.com. And I would encourage everybody to have a look at it. It's a wonderful site about Peter's work and what it is he's doing, and it's at the bottom of the screen. So, Peter, the foundation is currently looking to extend your school, I understand, to make it possible for children to come back and social distance. So you need to have more space in the school, more classrooms, so that the students can be safely separated. And you're looking to build that through the foundation. Tell us a little bit about the project.
So the project is, there's so many things that that have to be done, but there are those things that we have to give a priority, because right now I can say that there are many challenges that my local community, is facing, especially like let's start with my school. It's under resourced, but I want to thank God because of this, and I really wanted to use this platform to change this. And then later on that can also be extended to the other schools, not just doing it only in my school. So I wish I extend the same love to the other schools and other communities. But in the meantime, the focus is now to improve the school infrastructure. We don't have enough classrooms, and also based on the fact that we have 100% to secondary. So we have so many, like right now, we have so many students. And if you come to our school, you find that there's so much concentration, and we need something, and we need to have the. So it's more of a plan on how to build the classrooms. But at the same time, there are other things I want to do in future, but it's as per the plan. So, but right now, that's where my energy is. That we have to improve the school infrastructure, and also improve the ICT. If we can have the laptops, I'm intending if we can, I don't know how that is going to happen, if we can have that laptops. And I'm very sure, I'm very optimistic that God is going to that as that. We have like 30 desktops and then 6 more classroom. At the moment we have, but they are not enough. So 6 more classrooms. And at the same time, we also have the office space because the teachers at times they are so much congested in one place. So we need to have more office spaces where teachers can do their work in a great way. So it's more of really doing. Once that has achieved, I'm very sure it's going to create a very a safe environment for the children, not just the current students, but even the future generations. And of course, they are not my biological children, but you know, now that these are learners, and you know, these are the future leaders who are going to change the world, and therefore that's why, to me, they are my children. They are my children, even if they are not my biological children, but they are my children, and that's why I love, you know, giving them my best, because that's where my heart is, and if that's going to happen, I'll be so happy, and I'm very sure even the community, so uh, uh, yeah, the future generations also be, you know, have something to be proud of.
And I'm sure Peter's far too modest, and so on his behalf, I'll actually say that on his website there is a donate button. If you wish to contribute anything, there's an online secure donation portal. So, you know, please work with him and support him. And there is also an email address at the bottom of the screen if you want to get in touch with the foundation. And we do look forward, Peter, to, you know, more amazing things from you, as you have done up to now, and you know, keep inspiring the world. So before you know, we close the session, what I wanted to ask you is a question that I ask everybody who comes on these webinars. You know, we're at a point of crossroads. There is a pandemic, but there is a vaccine. We see that in, you know, countries like, for example, I'm in London at the moment, and here the vaccine has brought down hospitalization and death rates massively. So it seems to be working well. And, you know, as people get vaccinated, things may return back slowly to normal, but that may take time. So if you were forecasting what was going to happen over the next 12 months, and more importantly, what's your advice to teachers about what they should be thinking about and doing in those 12 months, what would you say?
I can say that right now there is so much. There are many new things which have been. Can say that there are many. I can talk of discoveries, and you know, whenever there is a challenge, people want to be very creative. They want to get solutions. I wish that people take advantage of that. There are so many like you know, learning sessions where teachers can learn and go for training. Even right now, I've enrolled in like 2 sessions, which will take like around 8 weeks. So I've enrolled like 2 of them, and I'm learning a lot. So I wish that they take advantage of this to learn, because each day is a day of learning. Without learning, you'll not grow. You just be there where you are. You only be relying on what you just had, you know, you knew many years ago. So I wish they take advantage of that, and also uh, also take advantage of the kind of support that we are getting. Like now, we are being advised to go get vaccinated. I wish that teachers also go and receive the vaccine, and so that our lives are going to be better. We'll be able to give the best to our learners. So, but the most important thing is to have hope, to be optimistic, not to have so much fears, and to let the trauma overcome us. So to be optimistic, because there's some light at the end of the tunnel. I'm very sure in the 12 months or just a few months to come, we are going to have, the world is going to be transformed, and we'll be somewhere. I'm sure we'll be somewhere, and that can only happen if we try as much as possible to work as a team with other people, and try to follow what we are being instructed from the government or from the, from the people who are, who are leading us. I'm very sure so much can be achieved when we people are working together. Yeah.
Peter, I have to say, listening to you and everything you said today, that you're not only the world's best teacher, but you actually live the ideals and the vision of that prize in the way that you support your community, do the best for your learners, even in difficult times, and the way you bring people together and, drive change, both as a teacher, but also as a Franciscan brother. And, we pray that God continues to give you the strength and the energy and the vision to transform this world. If there were more people doing what you're doing, I think, the world would become a much better place much more quickly. And we pray for your efforts and hope that, they are fruitful in everything that you do. For us, it leaves me to say just 3 quick things. Many of you have requested certificates for this event. To do that, you need to register on the Eventbrite link that is in the chat. That is the only way we can issue them. And the deadline for that is today, so you must register today. Secondly, if you wish to contact us, there is an email and link that is running at the bottom of the website. Please do that. And finally, I would encourage all of you who are teachers, despite what you may think about the areas you're in, the type of school you're in, the facilities it has, the struggles you may face, apply for the Global Teacher Prize. You can see what it does, the voice it gives you, the reach it gives you, and your ability to do what you want to so much better. And, take Peter's example. He is a lighthouse, an inspiration, a torch for all of us. And, we look forward to having more people from the Global Teacher Prize on our platform. But from us, this is all from today. I just wanted to make sure that we say stay safe, stay well, look after yourselves. And until next time, see you. All the best. Thank you.